Thomas.
I'm sure the constituents of Surrey East will have been following their member's speech with great interest this evening. In the run-up to the 1975 referendum, the country was assured, and I'm afraid to say this assurance came from a Conservative Prime Minister, that there was no question of any erosion of any essential national sovereignty. Not as yet. They were told that we would have a veto over any important issue. Yet those same people have now seen that what they were told was a common market has become a political union in which we can be outvoted whether we like it or not. They see other countries not following the rules when our country does follow those rules, and they see an institution whose accounts have not been signed off for some 20 years. Yet we continue, year after year, to give it money. This year coming, we are giving it £10.9 billion, and that is our net contribution after what we get back. Indeed, in every single year except one, we have given more money to the EU than we have got back. And that one year was 1974, the year before we last had a referendum on this, the only year we ever received more money from Europe than we gave back. So those members who've yet to make up their mind might like to reflect, in terms of reducing that 10.9 billion contribution, in putting some pressure on you to reduce its budget and our contribution, there could be nothing that would concentrate their minds more than having the knowledge that this country might be having a referendum on our membership of the EU. It now has to be a referendum. The people have heard too many promises made by too many parties for too many years. They now want to decide themselves as to what our future in Europe or as an independent country may be. Now, we've heard in this debate there has been, I think, very significant movement on this side of the House. My honourable friend from Keighley asked why 18 months in we were having this discussion, why was there so much disagreement, why wasn't the coalition agreed on this? I think the reason is because 57 members of this coalition, those who are Liberal Democrats, were given the referendum they wanted on the alternative vote. Yet a far larger number on the Conservative benches have not been given the referendum that we want on our country's position in the EU. Yes, I will give way.
We have discussed this already in this debate, but actually the Conservative manifesto didn't commit to an in-out referendum. It committed to a referendum lot which we have achieved in the European Union Act.
The Conservative Party had offered a referendum on Lisbon. The Liberal Democrat Party had offered a referendum between the EU with Lisbon and leaving the EU. Yet what the country got through the coalition agreement was the Lisbon Treaty, but no referendum on anything. And yet we see from the Liberal Democrats, still on their website 3 or 4 days ago, campaigning for an in-out referendum. Yet that's now been removed. So not only have they given it, not only have they gone against what they told the electorate on student fees, they have done the same on Europe. I give way.
I voted in the last referendum in 1974. It was the first time I and the question, Mr. Speaker, was whether we wanted to stay in the European Economic Area. We have never had a referendum asking us if we want to be members of the European Union.
My honourable friend is quite right, and in this House here this evening we have that opportunity to give our constituents that referendum, to decide whether they will be governed by people whom they elect, whom they can hold to account, whom they can throw out if they do not agree with how we vote, whether we make the decisions for them, or whether instead a qualified majority of 26 other countries will decide what the law of this country is while we pay 10.9 billion a year for the privilege. That is the decision. It is no longer a decision which we can hope to keep within this Westminster bubble without our constituents having their say. And sooner or later that decision is going to be made. We heard from my honourable friend earlier that there was going to be a referendum a Conservative-led or a coalition government of some stripe would renegotiate and would renegotiate sooner rather than later. The Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, they told us earlier that they were going to be bringing powers back over social policy, over employment policy. But what is the key now is whether our constituents will get to vote on their outcome. Do they want to stay in with whatever improvements we've been able to negotiate, however great or otherwise they may be, or do they want to come out again and be an independent country, trading with Europe, but governing ourselves? I say to members here tonight, and particularly those who are undecided, that decision must now be our constituents' decision, and that is the way in which we restore belief and trust in politics.
Mr. Aidan Burley.